Hi there. It's June 23rd, and we are at day 175 of Through the Bible in 1 year. Bible in 1 year. Now, yesterday we read in First Kings the story of Rehoboam. Solomon's son who became king and did some really stupid things, and then the king Pharaoh of Egypt attacked, and the Lord let them, and he took all of Solomon's treasure, everything. And today we're going to read the same story in 2nd Chronicles, 3 chapters in 2nd Chronicles, and these are kind of like Gospels. It's, the Gospels, it's the same story, a different person's account, so it's a little different. So this is a 2nd Chronicles account. We'll read that. Like I said, we read the story yesterday in 1 Kings, and it'll be very similar. So the kingdom divided. Then Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel had gone to Shechem to make him king. When Jeroboam, son of Nebat, heard about it, for he was in Egypt, where he had fled from King Solomon's presence, Jeroboam returned from Egypt. So they summoned him. Then Jeroboam and all Israel came and spoke to Rehoboam. Your father made our yoke difficult. Therefore lighten your father's harsh service, and the heavy yoke he has put on us, and we will serve you. Rehoboam replied, return to me in 3 days. So the people left. Then King Rehoboam consulted the elders who had served his father Solomon when he was alive, asking, how do you advise me to respond to these people? They replied, if you will be kind to these people and please them by speaking kind words to them, they will be your servants forever. But he rejected the advice of the elders who had advised him, and he consulted with the young men who had grown up with him, the ones serving him. He asked them, what message do you advise we send back to these people who said to me, lighten our yoke your father put on us? Typical young person fashion. The young men who had grown up with him told him, this is what you should say to the people who said to you, your father made your yoke heavy, but you make it lighter on us. This is what you should say to them. My little finger is thicker than my father's loins, therefore my father burdened you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father disciplined you with whips, but I with barbed whips. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam on the 3rd day, just as the king had ordered, saying, return to me on the 3rd day. Then the king answered them harshly. King Rehoboam rejected the elders' advice and spoke to them according to the young men's advice, saying, my father made my yoke heavy, but I will add to it. My father disciplined you with whips, but I will with barbed whips. Not a nice person, is he? Spoiled, I'd say. The king did not listen to the people because the turn of events came from God, in order that the Lord might carry out his word he had spoken through Ahijah the Shilonite to Jeroboam, son of Nebat. When Israel saw that the king had not listened to them, the people answered the king, what portion do we have in David? We have no inheritance in the son of Jesse. Israel, each man to your tent. David, look after your own house now. Well, they are not going to follow him, are they? So Israel went to their tents. But as for the Israelites living in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. Then King Rehoboam sent Hodoram, who was in charge of forced labor. But the Israelites stoned him to death. However, King Rehoboam managed to get into his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. Israel is in rebellion against the house of David until today, when this was written. Okay. And he told them they would be, right? Rehoboam in Jerusalem. When Rehoboam arrived in Jerusalem, he mobilized the house of Judah and Benjamin, 180,000 choice warriors, to fight against Israel to restore the reign of Rehoboam. But the word of the Lord came to Shemaiah, and the man of God. Say to Rehoboam, son of Solomon, king of Judah, to all Israel in Judah and Benjamin, to the rest of the people, this is what the Lord says. You are not to march up and fight against your brothers. Each of you must return home, for this incident has come from me. God separated them. So they listened to what the Lord said and turned back from going against Jeroboam. Judah Kings Rehoboam. Rehoboam stayed in Jerusalem, and he fortified cities in Judah. He built up Bethlehem, Etam, Tekoa, and all those cities. I'm not going to read out. Holy cow. Which are fortified cities in Judah and Benjamin. He strengthened their fortifications and put leaders in them with supplies, food, oil, and wine. He also put large shields and spears in each and every city to make them very strong. So Judah and Benjamin were his. The priests and Levites from all their regions throughout Israel took their stand in Rehoboam. For the Levites left their pasture lands and their possessions and went to Judah and Jerusalem, because Jeroboam and his sons refused to let them serve as priests of Yahweh. Jeroboam appointed his own priests for the high places, the goat demons and the golden calves he had made. Yeah. We already know how God feels about that, right? Those from every tribe of Israel who had determined their hearts to seek Yahweh, their God, followed the Levites to Jerusalem to sacrifice to Yahweh, the God of their ancestors. So they strengthened the kingdom of Judah and supported Rehoboam, son of Solomon, for 3 years, because they walked in the way of David and Solomon for 3 years. Rehoboam married Mahalath, daughter of David's son Jeroboam, and of Abihail, daughter of Jesse's son Eliab. All in the family, huh? She bore sons to him, Jewish, Abinasham, and after her he married Maacah, daughter of Absalom. She bore Abinadab and all those people. Rehoboam loved Maacah's daughter of Absalom more than all his wives and concubines. He acquired 18 wives, 60 concubines, and was the father of 28 sons and 60 daughters. 2 to 1, right? Rehoboam appointed Abijah, son of Maacah, as chief leader among his brothers, and intended to make him king. Rehoboam also showed discernment by dispersing some of his sons to all the regions of Judah and Benjamin and to all the fortified cities. He gave them plenty of provisions and sought many wives for them. Shishak's invasion. When Rehoboam had established his sovereignty and royal power, he abandoned the law of the Lord, he and all Israel with him, because they were unfaithful to the Lord. In the 5th year of King Rehoboam, Shishak, king of Egypt, went to war against Jerusalem with 1,200 chariots, 60,000 cavalrymen, and countless people who came with him from Egypt, Libyans, Sukkim, and Cushites. He captured the fortified cities of Judah and came as far as Jerusalem. Then Shemaiah, prophet, went to Rehoboam and the leaders of Judah who were gathered at Jerusalem because of Shishak. He said to them, "This is what the Lord says, you have abandoned me, therefore I have abandoned you into the hand of Shishak." That'll teach him, huh? So the leaders of Israel and the king humbled themselves and said, "Yahweh is righteous." When the Lord saw that they had humbled themselves, the Lord's message came to Shemaiah, "They have humbled themselves. I will not destroy them, but will grant them a little deliverance. My wrath will not be poured out on Jerusalem through Shishak. However, they will become his servants, so that they may recognize the difference between serving me and serving the kingdoms of other lands." So King Shishak of Egypt went to war against Jerusalem. He seized the treasures of the Lord's temple and the treasures of the royal palace. He took everything. I said he took everything, and you have no idea how much. Solomon's income just from outside sources was 25 tons of gold every month, right? And just the royal, the inner room where the Ark of the Covenant was lined with 45 tons of gold, and the two 20-foot angels with 14-foot wingspans, solid gold. And Shishak took everything. So you wonder where Solomon's treasure is? It's in Egypt. Huh? He took the gold shields that Solomon had made. King Rehoboam made bronze shields in their place and committed them to the care of the captains of the royal escorts, who guarded the entrance to the king's palace. Whenever the king entered the Lord's temple, the royal escorts would carry the shields and take them back to the royal escorts' armory. When Rehoboam humbled himself, the Lord's anger turned away from him, and he did not destroy him completely. Besides that, conditions were good in Judah. Yeah, besides everything being gone, right? Rehoboam's last days. King Rehoboam established his royal power in Jerusalem. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he became king and reigned 17 years in Jerusalem. The city of the Lord had chosen from all the tribes of Israel to put his name. Rehoboam's mother's name was Naamah, the Ammonite. Rehoboam did what was evil, because he did not determine in his heart to seek the Lord. The events of Rehoboam's reign from beginning to end are written in the events of Shemaiah, the prophet, of Iddo, and the seer, concerning genealogies. There was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam throughout their reigns. Rehoboam rested with his fathers and was buried in the city of David. His son Abijah became king in his place. Now, there you go. He divided up the 12 kingdoms, and he only gave him 1 or 2, right? And 10 were separate. So there you go. That's again the story of Rehoboam. Again, what have we got us doing tomorrow? Well, back in 1 Kings. And we're King Abijam. Okay, we're going to study the other kings. And I bet you the next day it'll be the Chronicles version of it. Oh, no, 1 Kings again. Cool. So, there you have it. Let's go back to where we are. Previous. Okay, completed. So, there you have it. And we know about Rehoboam. And we know that all of Solomon's treasure was taken by Shishak, king of Egypt. All of it. He took everything. He took it all to Egypt. So, there you go. And it's getting interesting. So, that was day 175. We'll keep reading. Keep doing this. We'll do it again tomorrow. Finish the whole year out. See you next time.